Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the CRUBCAST, your weekly dose of controlled chaos here in podcast form. My name is Kevin. I'm here with three of my sexiest co-crubbers here. Nico, hello.
What's up?
Chris, hello.
Hey.
And Trav, hello.
Good morning.
I have a
Good
question for all of you on this very special episode of the podcast that we have not planned whatsoever. Does Nintendo suck now?
Yeah.
Maybe? Okay, that's it. Thanks.
Bye, everybody. Rate us on iTunes.
Rate us on iTunes. One singular iTunes.
I figured that we should get into Ragebait, so I wanted to ask that question about Nintendo sucking now. Because, Chris, we were talking a couple days ago, and we were talking about how Nintendo has had a great year for sales, obviously. But as far as games go, since DK Bonanza, it's kind of been mid. What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I guess they should have just released Donkey Kong again, right?
Yeah,
I might
more
have
Donkey
did
Kong
better.
forever.
Oh, okay.
Did that game get a Switch 2 update?
That was a Switch 2 game. So kind of, if you think about it.
It did get DLC, which was the final level of the game instead of, being in the game like Odyssey had it.
Oh, cool.
$20.
I love that.
And it's stuff like that. It's stuff, Chris, I've talked to you about the Pokemon Mega Dimensions DLC, which recently came out at the time of recording. Also, not great. Might be the actual not the worst DLC I've ever played, but not a good DLC that I've ever played, because it's not horrible, but the gimmick of the DLC is to play the game less, kind of, because there are timers in the areas you're in. And so it's stuff like that. It's the fact that, obviously ZA got decent reviews. That's what Pokemon gets nowadays. Metroid Prime 4 came out, that got decent reviews, but then more people are not super happy with it than I think we would have expected.
Yeah.
Much less.
And so I'll throw it to the class, and just I'm curious whether you guys think what you guys think about this last 6 months of Nintendo since the Switch 2 launched.
I can go first since I have kind of the least
You don't
experience.
play video games. I think Chris should go first.
I don't play video games. I just play Mega
sorry,
Bonk, Trav.
I'm sorry, Nico.
Nico, what was your thought? Let's hear it. As the non-Switch 2 owner.
Yeah, I
have a
don't
Switch 2
really.
either.
I don't really play Nintendo games, and I kind of haven't for a while. Not that I don't on principle or anything. There just haven't been any that have aligned to my
This is
taste.
not Ragebaity enough.
Oh, are
Say
you
something
serious? You want me to
Say
We
something
want
mean.
your real opinion, bro. Well, slam
You're
it down.
serious. Okay, so I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna talk. I'm
Call
just gonna
Kirby
do it. Okay.
an evil name or something.
Yeah, I'll say this. I definitely think that the value proposition for Nintendo, if you're not already a fan of Nintendo, has gone down as a non-necessarily Nintendo fan. Donkey Kong is kind of a character that I don't really care about, and I kind of never have, and really probably never will. I hope to eat those words one day, but I probably never will. And also that game looks, I guess, cool, asterisk, where it's yeah, okay, we're digging, we're moving things around. Whatever.
Angrier.
Mario Kart
Chris,
World.
give me some
Mario
anger.
Kart
We need some
World.
anger here.
Grr. Well, I think Nico's right in that if you're not already a Nintendo fan, what has this year done for you, right?
Yeah. Well,
I
and
think
Mario
that's a
Kart
really interesting
World,
point, because it's okay, if you don't like Metroid Prime, if you're not willing to give Donkey Kong a $500 chance, right? If you're not emotionally swayed by Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour, if the new Pokemon game being kind of good but not fantastic, it's what has Nintendo done for most people this year that aren't already so embedded into the ecosystem?
On top of that, you can't get these bad boys for anything, which for the audience, I held up a Mega Battle Deck Pokemon card deck. You can't get them for MSRP. They simply are not available for MSRP.
That's not a Nintendo thing, but yes.
Do they not Pokemon? Did I retain that wrong from
It's
the
like
time that I
in
thought that
the orbit,
Nintendo bought
it's-
Sega?
It's like the Pluto around the sun of Nintendo.
Nintendo part owns the Pokemon IP. Technically, they own the majority of it by way of owning a lot of the companies that do also own it, but it's a combination. It's a conglomerate collaborative company of sorts.
And if we're
Pokemon
talking about
Company
like the physical
does its own
stuff, like the
thing.
cards, that's like a different.
Yeah, cards
beast.
are a completely different thing.
Okay. Well, then
but,
for
yeah.
Ragebait purposes, let's say they're not a different thing.
That.
That is good rage bait. Being wrong is great rage
Yeah,
bait.
let's be wrong on purpose. No, yeah, dude. And Mario Kart World, Kevin, I was complaining to you
right,
about.
that
I don't
came
even
out.
have it. I haven't even really played it. Like, it's just so like unimportant in comparison to Mario Kart 8.
I do like that we did open with you, Nico, because we're just like, let's do a rage bait about Nintendo on the fly, and then it goes perfectly to the person who hasn't played any of these games.
Right. That was, you said it, and I was like, oh, this is my
Yeah.
time to shine.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll hang on this for too long. I just thought it'd be funny to throw you guys on the spot with this, and I was right. This was funny for me. But there are some genuine thoughts, behind this. I think, Mario Kart World. I'm sure I know there are, hundreds of thousands of people still playing it actively and super into it. I don't know we don't have player counts, obviously, but, I didn't love it. Kind of felt like the world was a little empty. We've talked about this before. We've talked about DK in the spoiler cast. We've talked about Metroid in the spoiler cast. And we talked about ZA in the spoiler cast. We talked about all the big Nintendo games besides Welcome Tour this year. And the general takeaway has been, it's pretty good. None of them are bad. Maybe ZA might be the worst, but I probably think it's better than Prime 4. But it's a weird year, and it says a lot for Nintendo that they can launch with an off year, and they'll be totally fine, state of the world notwithstanding. If the world were to stay exactly how it currently is, they'll be fine. Who knows how memory prices and whatnot are going to affect them next year. But yeah, to your point, Nico, like if you're not a fan of Nintendo's stuff, I don't think that Metroid Prime is going to get you to buy in. Go ahead.
Another
the fourth
great
one.
example of this. We forgot about the new Kirby Air Riders, which is the most like appealing to 1 million GameCube people ever game.
And
That
they
game
even
legitimately makes me want to buy a Switch 2.
That
Question,
game
folks.
came out, and the
Nothing has
development
made
team,
me want to get a Switch 2 more than that game.
Did
the
they even
development-
advertise it?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard anything about it.
two Kirby fans.
Yeah.
Oh,
There were
had-
2
they had-
hour-long videos from the creator being like, look at every meticulous detail in my game. And that works great for those people.
Yeah,
Great ad, an hour-long video.
I mean, when you're a sicko like
Two
that,
of
yeah,
those.
2 separate full Nintendo Directs breakdowns from Sakurai about Kirby Air Riders.
There's straight up a point
that-
where he's like, look at the options menu. Isn't that crazy? It's like, I
That
guess.
game, the development team of that game has been disbanded already.
Oh,
That
really?
game
I
came
mean,
out.
I'll tell you for that, but
Yeah, I mean,
you serious?
They did the balance or performance patches, but they said this game is coming out and then we're done. We're going to go back to doing our own thing. So
Oh, okay.
like
I
not
thought you
literally-
meant like
not
the
fired.
the studio got fired. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
but it was a project. It was a project scenario. So the project's done. They're all moving on to probably Smash.
maybe they make
most
the
likely.
next Expedition 33.
You're so right. Expedition Air Riders. There we go.
Oh, I was saying the way that the Expedition 33 devs were ex-Ubisoft.
They still work at
So
Namco, the people that left the project.
Oh.
It's just the project is a collaborative project. So the project's
see.
done, so they still work there. Yeah, no,
see.
but yeah, good point, Chris. I forgot that existed. Trav, you also haven't bought a Switch 2. We always forget that. And you
I know,
said Kirby.
I'm a bit of a Nintendo head.
Well, you said that Kirby Air Riders
Biggest one I know.
was the thing that made you want to buy the
Yeah.
system.
I've
What are your
played it-
thoughts as a Nintendo kid?
The feeling of FOMO is at an all-time low.
That's interesting.
Like I'll just be completely transparent here and just acknowledge the truth in that I am the most forgiving to Nintendo's games probably out of all of us here. And I really loved the time I spent with Mario. What was it? Mario Kart World. I was about to say Super Mario Kart. That's the wrong one.
That's the movie coming out.
Yeah, that Supra Mayrocrat.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be
there you go, there you
that's gonna be the 5th movie in the series.
They oh my god.
Oh, dude, like Mario Kart, Hobbs and Shaw.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's gonna
like
be a
Wario
Waluigi
and
and
Luigi.
Wario movie.
Mario has it in his contract that he can't lose.
That's true.
So
And he also has to use iPhones. He can't use an Android.
yeah, because he's the hero.
Right.
So, I loved my time with World. I love Kirby Air Ride. I really like that game. Has made me want to get a Switch more than anything else I've experienced. But other than that, I mean, look, I'm not afraid to admit it. I've kind of fallen back into my emulator boy kind of era. I've been emulating a lot more games lately. I've been carrying. I'm not gonna touch your fist. I've been
yeah, your dirty, stinky fist, Chris. We're not gonna touch it.
NSO and all that has been gradually less appealing to me as time goes on. And I don't know, like I want a Switch too, so I can have my own personal time with Kirby Air Riders, and then be able to record footage for Prime 4 at a higher res. That would be cool. But other than that, I mean, I'm not gonna drop $500 on one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I keep circling back to like this is a good off year for them. And I'm sure next year a lot of bangers drop. I mean, they're still pretty good about releasing one game a month, which is unheard of for them until the Switch era. So it's not like they're struggling. It's not like they're going to struggle. It's just interesting for each of us, because we're not really in the zeitgeist with Nintendo a lot of the time. We kind of avoid all the crap. Like we hear about some of the Prime 4 I don't want to say controversies because it's not that, but we hear about what people think about Prime 4 and we are just like, oh yeah, who cares? Like we care about
our own echo
think.
chamber propagating.
No, not even that. That's you. We have our own crew of people who are in a chamber and echo, and then yeah.
Guys, I have a question.
Okay.
Which is Nintendo. More things should be popsicles. I forgot it. I forgot what my question was. I legitimately had a question. Oh, sorry, Chris. What are your thoughts on this?
Hey, Nico. What are my thoughts on you forgetting your question? I wish you'd remembered it.
Oh, I remember it. It's what games, what bangers does Nintendo have in the pipeline that you foresee for next year?
I mean, we know there's a Splatoon game that's a campaign only scenario, maybe. Which is probably a cool thing. We know that Miitopia is coming out. Miitomo?
Oh, Tomodachi Life?
Tomodachi.
Tomodachi.
Jesus. We know that's coming out, but that's also a Switch 1 game.
Let me take a quick look at the upcoming Nintendo Switch games. We got Mario Tennis Fever.
Oh, right.
Riveting.
Wow, is that really it for like first-party releases? The only first-party for releases that we have in the upcoming coming soon page on Nintendo's website is Pokemon Pokopia.
Oh, Pokopia.
Tomodachi, Animal Crossing Switch 2 edition, and Mario Tennis Fever.
I didn't realize that Switch 2 Animal Crossing wasn't out yet. I mean, they're going to do a direct probably in January that's going to have a bunch of stuff as well. It's not like they always do that. We don't really know more than 6 months out.
There is still some stuff we know that isn't there. Like that new Fire Emblem might be good. That was announced a few months back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Justin will be happy.
Yeah, that's a Justin-coded game.
Yeah, their coming soon page is not up to date.
Whatever
Even
the case,
Nintendo doesn't care enough to advertise their own games. Really makes you think if they have any soul kino left.
It's a bunch of
Any soul kino.
I think the thing for me, if I was to just like look at it, I go in and out of Nintendo, right? Sometimes I'm real into Nintendo, sometimes I'm not. It's kind of
always going in and out of Nintendo, like just really in and really out.
Yeah, just in and out constantly. I'm always in there and I'm always out of there, you know what I'm saying? But I don't...
Animal style.
Yeah, like the Muppet.
Huh?
I think if those secondary franchises aren't being represented as much, I'm kind of more out, right? But there is something else, is that if you put aside like Tears of the Kingdom a few years back, there hasn't been that like huge this is why you love Nintendo game, at least for me, in a while. And I do know I just disqualified one because Tears of the Kingdom, fantastic game. Donkey Kong Bonanza maybe could have been that game, but it was mostly just pretty good instead of like, oh my god, Nintendo still got it, right? I feel like the last time that happened was probably Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey. Yeah,
I mean, that first year was insane. That was one of the best. That was probably the best first year a console has ever had.
That was about 9 years ago now.
That was, it was 2017. Yeah. They had that. They
8
had
years ago.
Splatoon 2 dropped, year of launch. I'm pretty sure that was that spring. They announced Smash near the end of the year. They announced Prime 4 during that E3 in 2017, and then yeah.
Yeah. So I think for me, it just kind of comes back to a thing of like, when there's a Nintendo banger on the cards, I'm feeling good about Nintendo, and it's been a while since one of those, and we don't know if or when another will happen anytime soon. And at least for me, my sentimentality around Nintendo is pretty dependent on like, is there a new Animal Crossing coming that looks pretty good? Can I hope for an Advance Wars? Is there a huge, awesome new game? Like, is there a Smash Brothers, right? Not that I want another Smash Brothers, but something that kind of takes that place of like, oh man, Nintendo, right? I can't get this anywhere else. Then
I pulled up their 2023 for because you mentioned that as like maybe the last big year, and they had Prime Remastered, Tears of the Kingdom. They had that Ghost Trick game, Mario Wonder. It looks like also came out that year. Pikmin 4 came out that year, and again, a lot of those there are a significant number of people that are big into a lot of those properties. Pikmin is doing better than it ever has, because Nintendo's doing a better and better job of pulling people into like if you're a fan of Nintendo, you buy everything Nintendo. We're less guilty of that than a lot of Nintendo players, but we are still guilty of that. I have Mario Wonder, and I don't think I actually have ever loaded it up. I bought it and I wanted to play it, and then I just haven't.
I have a question.
Oops. Yes.
Are we just out of touch?
Yes.
Are we just like, I wish we could have the fun the Nintendo fans are having?
It's the Nintendo fans that are out of touch.
No,
they're
they're
wrong.
specific. They're specific for certain. I have like, I'll say this, right? Like there's a reason that I am a strong like proponent of genre, just the concept. And hear me out. And it's because when you find something you like, if you value the consistency and you value kind of knowing what you're going to get every time, I feel like Nintendo was the hot spot for that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
You're very wrong.
Okay. Then I'll stop.
I pulled up the 2024 list, Chris, and this is more to your point. There were a lot of good games in 2023. I think Wonder was also nominated for Game of the Year. So, shout out to 2023. I pulled up the Nintendo wiki page for the 2024 the year. First off, I want to read that it says 2024 was the year after 2023. That's just the first sentence.
You should edit it so that it's the other way around.
No, we don't lie here. The biggest releases in 2024 were Princess Peach Showtime, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Mario Party Jamboree, Mario and Luigi Brothership, and Alarmo.
Heck is
Was Alarmo
Alarmo
nominated?
It's an alarm clock.
Jeff Keighley was on stage. Like, I get to announce the brand new alarm clock for Alarmo.
I've been using it for the
Okay,
last
guys,
year.
you're not going to believe it. I can wake up with my best friends, Mario and Luigi, coming to you this September 9th.
And we knew 2024
Mario
was
and
kind
Luigi
of...
come.
We knew 2024 was kind of a punt year for Nintendo going into it. We kind of all expected the Switch 2 was going to be that year. And then, it ended up being, not necessarily delayed per se, but, it didn't come out as we expected. And, it's an interesting thing. I don't know that, like... You have Tears of the Kingdom, you have Metroid Dread, which is very, very niche game, obviously, compared to like other Nintendo games, but also the best-selling Metroid game. So, I think maybe I need to play Princess Peach Showtime to
see what you missed.
So I do have a question here, fellas, and this is more for the non-Nintendo folks, I guess, but for Chris and for Kevin, what would make you excited about Nintendo again that they could do in the year 2026? And then for Trav, and I guess for myself, I don't really have a great answer. What would make you buy a Switch 2 literally tomorrow, like no questions asked? Like, what can they do that year that makes you just buy a Switch 2?
Do you want my answer first, or do you want Kevin's answer first?
I'll hop in first.
Yeah.
I'll hop in first because I do appreciate the humor in calling Chris and I the non-Nintendo folks as the Switch 2 owners.
No, I meant
but it's correct.
Regretfully and remorsefully. Yeah.
I think as far as for 2026, like I'm not asking for specific games, and I've been very happy with the big hitters from Nintendo. I really did enjoy Bonanza. Once I realized it was an immersive sim and not really a platformer to the same degree that they usually are in those Mario type games. That's only partially a joke. I'm not looking for specific games. I'm not even looking for a specific vibe. I don't want to buy 12 games a year from Nintendo. I'm glad that they make them. I don't want to buy them, you know? Half of them are usually Kirby remakes. So I'm good. I like Kirby. I don't need to play Dreamland again for $60. And I think for me, we know Pokemon's coming next year. Chris and I are going to buy Pokemon. We're going to like Pokemon, most likely. So that's
are
a
you
given.
excited about it?
We'll have to see.
That's the question. Like, what would make you excited about it?
Yeah, I mean, from what we kind of know, if those leaks still are the case, it sounds really cool and different. And I think that's a really promising thing for the future of the series. I think them now switching their timeline to 4-year pipelines instead of 3 is just a great thing for the health of the games. I think Scarlet and Violet were a true breaking point, in my opinion, that I think that everyone involved realized things were going wrong and they needed to correct or else things would go bad. Yeah. Sales are a lagging indicator of quality. Case in point, it took a whole year of Call of Duty for Black Ops 7 to seemingly underperform. And that was years in the making. So with Pokemon, I think that a good year will bring them right back up to being the best-selling game they probably ever made. So yeah, I'm not looking for a specific game. I'm not looking for even a specific vibe. I think I'm just looking for a less cynical approach. And what I mean by that is maybe I'm projecting onto them some of the feelings I've had about their executives in recent years, but I feel like there was at one point a marked shift in how they started to operate publicly. And I'm not even talking the Iwata era. Iwata's been sadly gone a long time. I'm not talking the Reggie era.
Rest in Ripperino.
There's something about the current trajectory of Nintendo that I can't quite put my finger on, but like a lot of the press statements are more generic. A lot of the the CEO is more of a business-minded guy. That's probably the right thing to do. I'm not debating that. But I think as a result, when you see a $30 DLC for Pokemon ZA that is by any standard metric asking you to play the game less because they are rushing you out of areas that are identical, it is a reskin of previous areas of the game with with a border around them and saying you have 5 minutes, go do what you want, and then you're kicked out. It's a really weird DLC. I did not spend $30 human on that. And I wouldn't have. I got it for cheap through, like Sam's Club eShop cards and whatnot. So like you can spend $80 at Sam's Club and get $100, or Costco as well. At the time it was Sam's Club. So I bought money with that and then used Sam's Club rewards points to get it for less. So like I didn't buy ZA for full price. I didn't buy Prime for full price. I didn't buy the DLC for full price. Especially with vouchers on those other two games. Anyway, this is a long walk for a drink of water, but I think when you see a $30 DLC like that, or the DK $20 DLC, which does feel like what they did with Luigi's Balloon World, which was free, you're starting to see a bit of nickel and diming, and that is not a good sign to me. So I would like to see something to show me that they are not being enshittified.
There's kind of an air around everything, right? Kind of like we know you're going to buy it. Give us the money kind of vibe, Like touching on your point, it used to be kind of fun to be a Nintendo fan. Like I think they were smart to walk back a lot of their marketing because it was getting pretty parasocially toward like the Reggies and the Iwatas, right? They leaned into the memes pretty well, but I think if you keep doing that too much, you start getting a thing where like maybe Doug Bowser doesn't want to be a meme, but now there's like an expectation that Doug Bowser is a meme, right?
I'll bounce off that and throw back to you. There's a great example of that with Metroid Prime 4, which is Kensuke Tanabe. He is the producer for the Prime series in particular and for Paper Mario. And since Prime 4 has come out, everyone's saying, well, yeah, of course, he really wants more humans from the Galactic Federation in Metroid Prime. He wants more NPCs, and that's stuff that we don't want in Metroid, or whatever take you might have. We're seeing that parasocial relationship, turn. And it's always been bad for him in particular, but that is something that happens. We've seen that in Metroid with Sakamoto, who, he's been hated for like 10 years because of Other M. Mm-hmm. I don't think you should hate someone for making a mistake, but, whatever. And with what we know about gamers, since they stopped doing that parasocial sort of marketing around 2015-ish, I don't think you really want to have faces that people do know in the meme-y kind of way. I think Valve has the right idea with, sadly, being less transparent and not having a face and not talking to press and not commenting. I don't like that, but I think that knowing the audience of gamers and how many people take it too far, probably the right idea. So to your point, yes, I agree with you on that. And continue.
And it just kind of has left a void that I don't think they've necessarily filled, Like, I don't need Nintendo to pretend to be my friend. I don't need Nintendo to make corporate people try to be relatable or fun or friendly or whatever, right? Like, I think they had some lightning in a bottle moments with Iwata and Reggie, and you can't replicate that for all these people, obviously. But it has left kind of a vacuum of Nintendo is the corporation and they will sell you the thing, and now they're charging more for the thing. And if you're not like deadlocked in hardcore Nintendo fan, you do just kind of look at it and feel that disconnect. And I think, when the games are like fantastic, you're like, okay, but when you're just kind of riding between these like Princess Peach Showtimes and Donkey Kong Bonanza and Metroid Prime 4 and Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour, right? You're kind of going all over the place, and it just
snuck that one in there.
Yeah, dude, NSYNC has got the flow.
Snuck Welcome Tour right in there.
You remember Drag X Dive?
Oh god,
this is the NSYNC.
Even the Nintendo fans were like, "That game sucks." That was surprising to me because we have a lot of friends in the Nintendo sphere that are happy with anything, and I love those people.
I wish I was that.
And when even they were like, "Drag X Drive sucks," I was like, "Okay, so okay, good."
I don't think I've heard of this game.
That was the wheelchair basketball.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, they're not officially wheelchairs because they didn't want to, get crucified for it. But yeah.
Was it bad?
Apparently.
That's, man.
At least it wasn't like arms.
I was really hoping that guy was going to be like our big reveal Smash rep for the
Smash. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be cool, but so I guess what I want is I want it to feel fun to be into Nintendo, even passively, and not more like this is the company that's going to try to sell me $100 Virtual Boy helmet or thing to slide my Switch into, right?
That's a really good example.
That and Alarmo and just all these things add up, and then
Galaxy.
I don't know how the Galaxy thing, right? It's like ultimately, the idea is just I don't buy it, and I haven't. Like, I didn't even buy Pikmin 4, and I like Pikmin quite a lot, I guess I just wish I didn't feel like they were always trying to extract the most value out of me at every turn.
The thing you said, Chris, last time we talked about Nintendo to a lengthy degree like this, you said a really, really good thing. You made a really good point about the Nintendo Selects line that they had to do during the Wii era, where you could get Mario Galaxy for like $20. It was like the greatest hits sort of thing. And they haven't done that for the Switch. Odyssey is still $60, maybe like 50 or 40, if you're lucky. Pikmin 4 has been cheaper than Odyssey pretty consistently. And Odyssey is a game that everyone has. And just about everyone who has a Switch has Odyssey or is a coward. And I think the before I throw to you, Trav, because I know we've been kind of going for a long time about the Switch 2 side of it. I think
it's okay.
I think it's almost like Nintendo was a bit more of a club for the early Switch era, and now it's on the way to being, if not the highest selling system of all time, really, really tied, essentially. Like, at worst, it's going to tie. I think when you have that many people, you start to have to appeal to that many people, and that's a good problem to have. But as a result, that they're going to eat more of what you give them. And so it's like it's the worst of both worlds with a parasocial audience and a lot of them. Because like I would buy the Galaxy remakes for like 40 probably. I'm not buying them for 70.
Mm-hmm. I do have a quick interjection here to just bounce off this, and then I'll throw it to Trav.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it. This is gonna be Ragebait for sure. Man, and
What?
capitalists will hate me for this one. I think the Nintendo tax is arrogant. I think like the Nintendo tax as a concept is like an arrogant concept as a company. Like I think it's
toast, stone cold take. The most
think
like
it's
I just think
haughty.
making money
I think
is
it's
too much.
haughty. I think it's haughty, and I think it's like it doesn't need like. Yeah, I understand, right? From like the business point of view, who's gonna say no in the Nintendo management to more money for these games for a longer time? I understand. What I think of it is that I think it speaks sniffing your own fumes. And I think it says that you are not afraid enough of taking up space. I don't know. It's
Guys, we need to remember
yeah.
that Nico is a young gamer, so a lot of these same realizations that
No,
we had as our,
no,
in
no,
our
no.
teenage
Pick me.
years, he's still
it's
just now
just
learning.
that
I
there
have a
are
relevant
so
comment
many.
to
He's
make.
growing up. It's
Chris.
okay.
if you have the Nintendo Today app, the app where Nintendo exclusively tweets new announcements, today they uploaded a video
that's
of
arrogant,
Wario
too.
farting in your face. So they are literally smelling their own farts.
That's arrogant too, by the way. That's
Are you
Jeremy Renner
serious?
app. That's Jeremy Renner app.
That's a real
type
thing.
stuff.
To throw out how out of touch we are to go back to that joke. To your point, Nico, when you mentioned the Nintendo tax, I was thinking games not going down in price. I forgot Mario Kart World was an $80 game, and I forgot DK Bonanza is now $90 if you want everything, and I forgot that Pokemon is $100.
This is arrogant. It's arrogant because it's like because again, like you said, they know people are going to buy it. And they're taking advantage of that, and I don't like this.
They're starting to subsidize the budgets of their production by way of knowing that they have X amount of DLC sales, and that nothing good comes from that.
Yeah.
We've seen with every company, nothing good comes from that.
So
for us as consumers, and
so
I think
with
if
that,
we weren't in a tariff area. I think if we weren't in a tariff society and what have you, I think we'd see a bunch more collector's editions coming from them soon with statues and stuff that don't come out for like a year. Because we have some, not many.
I'm also referring to like old games as well, like that they just don't go down in price.
Oh, I know.
Like, I think that's arrogant. But
Trev,
anyway,
Trav,
what would make you to buy a Switch 2 tomorrow?
I don't know if I had more money.
Okay, no, like
That's a part of it. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, isn't that a part of it for
Financial
everybody?
stability, I guess.
Well, like let's say you have just enough money to buy. No, just acknowledge the spirit of the question. What could Nintendo release to get you excited about them
I
again?
feel like I've already answered that question, Nico. It's Kirby Air Riders. I'd buy that.
You're
There's
already
nothing
sold.
else I can really think
Looking
of.
forward
yeah,
to-
I know it's already out.
Looking forward to the future rather than this specific year. Like what next year?
I don't know. The new Smash Brothers would probably get me to expedite my process.
It's hard not
Honestly,
to go to the
that's
familiar,
the
right?
best I can really think of because, like, if you asked me a year ago, I'd go like, "Oh, a new Metroid game, maybe." But we just got
Right.
one, so
Yeah. It's funny.
and it was on Switch 1. If Prime 4 was a Switch 2 exclusive, we'd be having a different discussion.
It's funny actually. Like my answer is Tamagotchi Life, which they already have released. No, or they already have announced.
It's not,
No,
though.
It's
for
not.
Switch.
That's also a Switch 1 game. So
Idiot.
Well, that's what I'm trying.
Wait,
that's
is
what
it?
I'm saying,
Oh.
though, right? Is it's like if it was a Switch 2 game, I'd probably kind of be forced to buy a Switch 2.
I understand where you're coming
That-
from, but that does remind me of like a few months back when you were like, "Yeah, I don't think I'll buy a console ever again." And then I was like, when they announced if they announce a PS6 with a game you want, you're gonna buy it. Like, that's just how
yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm just I talk
it
a
is
big
also
game.
on Switch 1.
I talk a big game in the group chat for everyone, for the viewers at home. Yeah, I don't know. And also, different thing for another day. I don't really have anything that Nintendo could release that I think would make me go out and buy us. No, because they already did it. They're already doing that on Switch 2.
I think for
That's not
someone
Bloodborne
like you,
2,
they
though.
just need better entry points to get you in, because you are now in the sphere of you are more into gaming. You're more willing to try things, but it's like you're either going to try the game that YouTubers tell you from the 90s is like the best game in the entire series and ignore the 30 years since, or you're going to play the new one where people are like, Metroid Prime 4, it's no Metroid Prime 1 from the GameCube.
Actually, I will tell you what they could release that I would buy a Switch 2. And Chris, you might empathize with me on this one.
Slob and Knob 3000.
Fellas, there's nothing more that I want in my gaming journey than to be an actual, honest to God fan of Sonic the Hedgehog.
That is not Nintendo.
You know that
is Sega. That they make Sonic games for.
Okay, but they come out on Nintendo Switch, do they not?
they also
And
come out
PC.
everywhere else.
They do.
And
They do
Nice.
need
The
to.
Switch version
Okay,
would
well, then
actually be the
Nintendo-
worst version.
Then
of
Nintendo
any, like,
would
ever.
have to buy Sega
I
in
was
order
just gonna
for
say,
me.
it's for me to buy a Switch 2. I think Nintendo has to buy
Also,
Sega.
for the record, folks, for the folks at home, we've said this on the podcast before, right? Like we've said that like I had it.
We've talked about bullying you into thinking Nintendo bought Sega.
The fellas implanted in my brain that Nintendo bought Sega like 10 years ago. They told me this, and I have not corrected it. It's not that it's
he logically knows that it is not true.
Logically,
but the brain
but not
defaults to
instinctively.
the wrong side of it every time.
Well,
which
but
is
also-
really funny.
I also associate Sonic and Mario because of the Olympic Games that they competed together in so many times.
They're not even making those anymore. It's just Sonic now.
Right. And I'm just like, man,
Thank God the
bro.
plumber
But
got out.
yeah, so then I guess I don't really have one. A new Smash would be cool. I don't need it. Like, I liked that game more when I was like, had people that I was actively practicing it with community style.
That weren't named Justin, because Justin just wins automatically anyway, and you don't feel like playing anymore.
I never cared about him winning against me. I learned a lot from playing against him. It was like
never
it
cared
was
about
something
him.
that like it was something that was another thing for me to like learn and get good at. And that's sort of my MO in life is like I execute. And a game that allows me to execute something like a Smash or like fighting games, etc. It was like, okay, this is something I can practice and get better at, right? And that was sort of the appeal of it at the time. If they released an actual good Mario Kart game, then perhaps I would buy it. I'm
He has played like 2 tracks of Mario Kart World.
joking asterisk. I'm joking asterisk.
Bait. I've been thinking about player
Yeah.
sentiment, though, especially lately and during this conversation, because I want to be more or less fair to Nintendo, I guess, depending on how you read this. I feel this with PlayStation as well, right? And PlayStation is technically releasing pretty good games most of the time, right? Like Ghost of Yotei came out, people like it.
Like 2
God
a
of War
year.
Ragnarok
Yeah.
came out, people
Not
like
nearly
it.
the same tick. Yeah.
Yeah, Death Stranding 2, right? Like they are making, by all metrics, pretty good games. But being a PlayStation fan feels like a strange, alien, foreign concept in this current year. And not even just because the games are going to like PC and
Yeah.
who knows where they are in like 5 or 10 years, but there's no PlayStation fan, right? You are not a PlayStation fan. You are a fan of that style of game. And there isn't like a community that you are a part of. You're just like, you're a Ghost fan, or you're a Death Stranding fan, or maybe you like all of them, but there's no central area you kind of hang out with PlayStation
Ghost
fans, right?
like-
Yeah.
Ghost like
Yes.
Tsushima
Yeah,
and
Ghost the
Yotei.
band that
That's-
Kevin dabbed at their concert, the first person ever.
No,
Sleep
that
token.
is the like it's always been an interesting thing with PlayStation with its audience, because Nintendo is only now running into
Tsushima.
into the issue that Sony had for such a long time, which was that the PS1 was the big tent system immediately. Like it outpaced expectations, and it became the gateway for so many people that, you know, are much more casual gamers than we tend to acknowledge in the gaming space. A lot of teens and adults got into gaming with the PlayStation. And that's held the whole time, where like you go to PlayStation for multi-platform games. Sony always does that and then remembers, oh shit, we need our own games, and then rushes out to try and make games. It's an endless cycle of them being incompetent. And Nintendo is now running into the big tent of, well, we have every game on our system anyway, so they're not slowing down their game production because they have like 4,000 employees. Like they can't really, unless they fire people. But it's weird with Sony because, you know, even back in the day, you had Ape Escape fans, you had Parappa fans. They didn't really cross over. We saw how PlayStation All-Stars did. And there's a thing, and this is semi-related, there's a thing that the creator of Gran Turismo recently said that I thought was really fascinating, and I kind of want to make a video on it somehow, which is that there are 3 generations of PlayStation. The PS1 and PS2 are a single generation because so many people moved along. Not in terms of the console itself, but in terms of the audience transitioning to the new system. The PlayStation 3 is in its own little bubble because a lot of people fell off or went to the 360. It was harder to develop for. A lot of issues that led to the PS3 being what we know. Mm-hmm. The PS4 brought a whole new audience in as well and brought a bunch of PS2 fans back. And, you know, from the tail of things like Uncharted and The Last of Us brought in so many Xbox players. So that became the 3rd generation of PlayStation. And because now every system is the same but more powerful, the PS5 is just a better PS4. The PS6 is going to be a better PS5. That is one generation that ostensibly won't change anytime soon. And I think that leads to a lot of like the angry fans that want the PS3 classics to be ported when then like, you know, Sony in their opinion is like, why would we spend money remastering those when we know they're going to sell like 500,000 copies? They don't have the Nintendo parasocial audience. If anything, it's like the inverse where everyone just hates PlayStation. They hate PlayStation, but buy PlayStation.
They do have one thing. They have a lever they could pull, but will they?
What's the lever?
What's the lever?
You know what it is.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Don't even say
it. I think, and to that point, I think there's a big element that Astro brought to the table with that because it was kind of just a Nintendo game for PlayStation. I think that's a really cool thing to have had for the first time in a while. I think that game came out at the right time for a lot of people. That it was just so joyful an experience that its presence outsized the game itself. Because that's a very simple game. You know, it's not going to blow the world off, but it became Game of the Year because everyone said, oh, they do remember. Someone remembers. And that meant a lot to people that were diehard PlayStation fans. And also to people who have kids, like the PlayStation fans that were able to show their kids that kind of game. And I think Nintendo is in a far better space than PlayStation is currently and have been since the Switch 1, more or less. Even if PlayStation was doing fine, you can only make so many big third-person over-the-shoulder games about dads before people start to tire of that. That audience is not going to consistently stay. They're going to go to like an Assassin's Creed or whatever. And that's fine. That's what most gamers are. Most gamers do that. They just play like one game a year and that's it. Yeah.
Third person. About dad.
Sad dad game, revenge is bad game, a weird game once in a while to throw you a bone. That's kind of PlayStation, right? I was remembering because really at the time of recording, Yakuza turned 20 recently. So I was going back to something they did like 10 years ago called PlayStation Experience. And if you don't remember, it was around December where they'd hold a big in-person event. It was the one time a year they'd acknowledge the PlayStation Vita past the year the Vita came out, right? And it kind of felt like an attempt to foster a PlayStation fan base. And I'm not saying it worked. I'm not saying it needs to come back, but it does feel like a kind of initiative that they just threw their towel on in at some point and said, we don't even need to do this. And they don't. But again, like I don't feel particularly connected to Nintendo or PlayStation. And it's just because it's not really fun to be a fan of either of these things, really. Yeah. You know, and I think that's what would get me excited is just feeling like it's fun to be a fan. I know that's the most like white guy on YouTube gamer podcast. Like, oh man, I just wish I could be like more of a consumer, bro. But you know what? I kind of want to be a little bit. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm tired of being grumpy and grouchy. I just want to turn my brain off once in a while and go, God damn, look at Mario.
I wish I was still a kid.
I wish I was still 8.
I also wish I was still
there are games that evoke that. You know, Astrobot evoked that. Yeah. Bonanza did evoke that at a point. Mario Kart World more briefly evoked that because you know there's a it's a fun game. It's a nothing popcorn kind of game. That's what Mario Kart World is, and that's fun for that. Pokemon was that way as well. ZA. They have a lot more of those nothing popcorn games that are still fun and still bring you back to being a kid sometimes when you hyperfixate on a thing. we're not saying that that's not the case for both of these companies, really. I mean, that's what Horizon is, just a nothing turn your brain off game. And I like Horizon. I'm not saying that as a negative. That's what that game is.
Yeah. Sony's really good at making those sort of games.
Yeah, like that's their pedigree for now, and I hope that is in the process of changing. I'm still kind of currently confident that it's in the process of changing. I think that a lot of this also comes back to like Western gaming. To simplify things, Western gaming is going through the same tough period that Japan went through in the early 2010s, and even a little before that, where everything got so big that they didn't know how to cope with it. And then things weren't doing well relative to the budget. And, we're now seeing a bunch of Japanese companies take the helm again, where they have now gone through that process of having struggled with the jump to HD. We're seeing that on the other side now, where a lot of these companies are struggling with, well, we're only making one game every 5 years. So that's when you hear like Naughty Dog apparently has 5 projects in production, at the same time. I don't know that that's true, but I think they said that. So I guess if you believe them. Stuff like that, where I think it's in the process of changing, because I think that you would like to think that the PlayStation company, not Sony, but PlayStation itself, the division, understands that having a semi-parasocial audience is probably better for it as a business strategy. Again, they keep realizing this every 5 years and then forget because somebody gets laid off or whatever.
Yeah.
There is a balance.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even know where I was going with that. I think this video is probably titled Nintendo Ragebait. This podcast is probably just called Nintendo Ragebait.
Nintendo Ragebait, the podcast.
I didn't think it was going to get us 50 minutes. I just wanted to make a joke. But
should I actually rage bait him with some more platformer?
A lot of your rage bait hasn't really been hitting though, brother.
Old
yeah, you're
man.
Just like, I'm going to do rage bait. I don't like peas.
Old man shakes fist at platformers.
And we haven't even talked about. We don't have to talk about Xbox because what is there to talk about?
Yeah, nothing.
But since we mentioned PlayStation,
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: Game Pass is, if you have the dough for it, it's a quality service. I'll say that.
That's a hot take.
That is kind of
2025.
Yeah, well, dude,
I canceled mine.
I'll tell you what's really been getting my goat recently, actually, is that we talk about Nintendo, I talk about not liking because I really don't love platformers and cutesy kind of stuff. It's just not, the art style is not for me. Platformers are not for me, at least not right now. But one thing is that since Expedition 33 came out, I haven't heard people shut up about people who don't like turn-based games. They're like, oh, I know people don't like turn-based games, or people that might not play this game because it's turn-based. And I was like, no. I said that. Just me. No one else said this. No one else was saying this at the time. It was just me. I was the only one.
They all said it 20 years ago.
I've never heard anybody say it.
You weren't
I've
around,
never heard anybody
bro.
else say it.
Yeah, you're just coming to an opinion.
You only discovered video games 3 years ago.
You're coming to an opinion that people have had for so long that they don't talk about it anymore because there aren't really many turn-based games, and so turn-based is the weird thing now.
Yeah, nobody told me.
To go into one of our mentioned examples this episode, it's like walking into the Pokemon fan base today and being like, these new games, I don't know if they're very well made for how much money this company's making, guys. Is anyone else noticing this? What's going on?
Oh,
is
that's
anyone
what
asking these questions?
I should have said that when I.
Am I the only one around here who?
No, well, it's true. I am the only one who's been saying that, though. It's because it's I'm just so visionary and so unique and special, and no one else has the same opinions as me ever, and haven't ever in history. Yeah.
Thank God. But yeah, no. What I was going to say was we don't need to talk about Xbox, but we did talk about the other two. Xbox is probably dead. Microsoft seems to be thrown in the flag as far as it as a system.
Or in general.
Do you reckon they'll keep supporting PC gaming, or do you reckon they'll just be like, nope, we're done with video games, and then no one can play any of them?
Xbox and PlayStation both went through something very similar. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sure you have a lot to say on this. But they're both going through something similar where they very recently started putting their games on PC, and they're realizing just how much money that's making them. And so both of them are coping with that in different ways. And it really feels like Xbox isn't going to just close their fucking studios and stop making games, but they're definitely going to start easing back on the hardware market.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. And they're not going to stop making games entirely because they own Activision. They own Bethesda. They're not going to just close those companies down, probably. And plus, there's a good amount of the gaming space that can allow them to utilize and integrate their AI hopes. They do have a nuclear power plant now, Microsoft, for AI.
What?
They are restarting 3 Mile Island for Microsoft, leased it.
Well, at least now we're getting nuclear power back. I'm glad it came to something.
So, anyway.
What's 3 Mile Island? Is that like Bikini Bottom?
Yes. And so.
Bikini Atoll. Bikini Atoll. Bikini Atoll. Sorry.
I mean, that's where they got the name from for Bikini Bottom. So
they're not going to stop making games. Game Pass is still going to be a thing, but it's also getting shitified. They're starting to raise the prices more again and again and again. The Xbox is like $1,000 now. That's not going to change. Their next system is, maybe in the line of that PC with an Xbox logo on it, sort of thing. And that is bad for the industry for them to dip out because Sony is already a walled garden where they can get away with that kind of shit, where they can just say, we're going to do XYZ and doesn't have to be pro-consumer because all they're doing is competing with Nintendo. And if you own one, you probably own both. So they can both start cranking the shit meter up and force feeding us like the pig boys we are.
Facts.
Yeah.
And let's start our own company, the Crub Gaming Corp.
And so it's a shame that that's going to be the case. And I would like to think that companies won't be bad, but they're both going to be bad about it. Even Nintendo's not your friend anymore.
Nope.
They haven't been since we saw the price of the Switch 2.
I'm also not your friend anymore.
This is why I tuned my guitar down so low. This is why I've tuned my guitar down to B standard, to fight this kind of thing.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
I thought you meant B standard, kind of like me telling you to be normal.
Yes, actually.
Nico just throws things out sometimes that are like an H-bomber guy, really long tangent that should fully explain the other part of the video that he's making, but then they don't relate.
We're actually replacing Nico with H-bomber guy.
Okay.
Oh, mine relates. Oh, it relates.
We could use more accents on this podcast.
Yeah, we could use more accents.
You tuned your guitar down because gaming.
No, I tuned my guitar down to fight capitalism. With
you
heavy
see what
music.
I'm saying, dear listener and viewer. You understand.
I bought a harmonica from Cracker Barrel to fight the regime, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
See,
blowing
Chris
in that
gets it.
thing 24/7.
Chris gets it. Deacon St. John coded.
Deacon, be beat.
If they made more Days Gone, I think the world would be a better place.
If Nintendo released Days Gone on the Switch 2,
Goddamn right, I never will.
If they released Days Gone on the Switch 2, I think we'd all buy it.
I'm
immediately.
going to bed.
That would
Speaking
be a
of
hilarious
day going
first
to bed.
PlayStation game on Switch. I have to say that isn't the first. I forgot about Lego Horizon, but that would be a really funny first one.
And MLB as well.
I can already hear the Dread guy like,
This summer, a motorcycle comes to Nintendo Switch 2.
Well, no, it was like
my bike's broke, Boozer.
I don't remember what happens in that game. A bear clawed me through a gas station roof. That's all I remember about Days Gone.
I
Didn't
remember
Boozer
the bear.
get his arm burned real bad?
Yeah, in like the first 5 minutes. Actually, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the really emotional wedding scene that the writer actually thought was good, where he was like, I'm going to ride you like I ride your bike.
That was a personal story from my life, actually. I'd like you to apologize for that.
Man, that's
I need to renew my wedding vows.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know where we're going with that. This was not supposed to be an hour of this conversation, but it happened, and that's what Crub is.
I miss
So-
when Valve
renewing-
made games I liked, but I'm going to buy a Steam machine.
Ooh, we could quickly go into
That's
Valve.
a good one.
I think when Gabe Newell dies, it's going to be bad for Steam. I think Valve is going to shitify very quickly.
video
when he
games
dies.
might just stop. Actually,
I mean,
Valve is like it so weirdly enough, because there's so many little things you could bring up and say that this is not the case, but like it really feels like when it comes to user freedom and borderline like the good side of libertarianism, like Valve is really just okay with so much shit that it's like, okay, it feels like you actually respect your buyer base. You're like, here's a computer, we don't care what you do with it.
I mean, to some
And
extent,
I feel
but
like once their leadership dies, it's going to be an interesting day.
like the Steam machine seems like it's a part of the long con that Gabe Newell has been trying to do for so long of I want to decouple from Windows and get more people to have Linux because I hate Windows. And hey, that's a really noble thing. I think it's a good thing.
Good
but
time.
Especially
also,
lately,
he's not
it's
gonna,
like that's a little bit like I'm okay with that.
He's not going to price the Steam, like they're not pricing the Steam machine to be a good deal because people won't then buy it to buy Steam games. They'll buy it to be a computer. So it's, I think once, like exactly what you said, once leadership changes, I think that could go to shit real quickly. And I don't think enough people are ready for that possibility.
They're a company that needs to form an internal cult of personality to ensure that they're always handing down Valve to the right person. Because you mentioned that at some point recently offline in one of our chats, and I was like, oh, that's a ticking time bomb. The second someone worms their way into Valve and is very investor minded, or I can make this public and get an IPO and imagine the value of Valve, right? Shit's gone. Tim Sweeney rolls in with Epic. He's like, I'm not so bad now, right?
Like
you want the Epic Games Launcher now, right?
Well,
we
don't
just
know
made our entire audience sad.
We don't know what the succession plan is,
not
nor
that
should
hard
we
to do.
probably. But it might be like, oh, Gabe Newell's passing the ownership down to his son. We don't know.
We get a Gabe Direct, and he uplifts the glass cage, and there's a Gabe Newell head inside, and it's like, well, gamers, you can email me at gaben@Valve Software.
Gaben.
And it's the eternal Gabe.
Gaben.
And he lasts forever. This is real. AI
what
mixes
if he
It's a
turns
patterns.
frozen
himself
head of
into-
Walt Disney, but instead it's Gabe Newell.
He turns himself into AI like Cyberpunk, like he's like becomes a construct.
Yeah, I think this
upload
is,
his consciousness to the cloud.
I mean, Gabe was doing something where he was like looking into machines that like read your brain waves and thoughts or whatever. Like he's getting into that weird shit. You know, maybe he's like, oh, this is the only way I can
I wonder
save.
if there's
Valve.
any updates with that. Because, like, what is it with, like, these early video game techies that are like that? Like, what was it? John Carmack was doing that, too.
They're all
He's like,
I mean, we
nerds.
have Mark
I'm gonna
Cerny
try to
listening to
figure
your
out how
ears.
to read your brain waves.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone at QuakeCon.
so many.
I'm here to read your brain.
So many of the early, so many on the American side, so many of the early game figures from that like that 90s era that became formative figures, either came from Microsoft because that was the only business in town, or came from military. But B, so many of them, like you see their pipeline might be like, oh, I worked in marketing for PlayStation, and then I worked on Google Stadia. I almost forgot the name. And now I work in MetaQuest or AI. And it's like, that's just the pipeline of tech people, because it's kind of always been a white collar field that became an art form as far as we are concerned in American game production.
So I found out that his Neuralink competitor is called Starfish Neuroscience. And
My
when you
favorite
Google
band.
that, when you Google that, it shows a screenshot of a map from Counter-Strike.
Chocolate
like, the location.
starfish.
Anyways, the most recent news on Starfish Neuroscience is from May, saying they're expecting to do something this year.
Starfish neuroscience and the
Oh,
hot
it's
dog
Half-Life
flavored water.
3.
Oh my god, it's all a ploy.
Half-Life 3 is actually a brain chip.
Oh,
B.
People would
Gordon
buy it.
Freeman.
Gordon Friedman.
Oh,
Man.
But yeah, all of gaming is bad. The Saudis are going to own most of it next year anyway. So that's that's our rage bait. You got rage bait. You titled it.
You got rage baited, son.
We titled it, so now you can accept this rage bait gracefully, and we'll thank you for enjoying it. I think we did air some actual concerns we have and whatnot. A lot of this was also spun in good fun. I think we're a little exaggerating.
Oh, good rhyme.
Yeah.
I think we're a little, we're exaggerating a little bit with some of the stuff, obviously, but everyone's going to be fine besides Microsoft. They'll be more than fine, but Xbox won't be. And I'm excited based on, to close out my thoughts, I guess. I'm excited based on, to circle back to what you said, Nico, based on what we've seen with Expedition 33, because there was a really strong point that has been made that how easy Unreal 5 is to use for small developers and make games at scale, but with few people. And like that it's empowering indie developers to do stuff by way of YouTube tutorials, because that's how the director learned how to direct a video game, was by YouTube tutorials for Expedition 33. I think we are going to be able to see a bunch more indie passion projects flourish thanks to stuff like that. And I think that AA will come back in a very big way thanks to stuff like that, which is good because this is a very top-heavy field currently, even though indies prop up the world. You know, a lot of this could come crumbling if one or two things go bad with chips in the next year, for example. And so I'm excited to see that that there's room for the industry to continue to thrive to some degree. It's not going to go away, even if we're, you know, sad that, you know, what was it? The Steam Replay just came out today, and I think it was like 14% of people bought new games this year of gamers. Like, you know, even with most people not buying or playing new games, there's always going to be a good stream of games that make us feel giddy like kids, like you kind of said. Chris, I mean, yeah,
because to be clear, like as disillusioned as I and maybe all of us have sounded, like for me personally, I'm in like a really kind of like an upswing with games again, right? Like I've been really enjoying games again the last few months. I've been playing a lot of really good stuff. It's just not been from Nintendo or PlayStation or necessarily Xbox, right? So, you know, I'm over here having a good time still. That. But
this was one of the better years I've had with games in a long time. I have played a little bit less because, you know, life stuff. But, you know, some of the stuff I've played, Expedition 33 might be in one of like if I had a top 10, it might be in my top 10. It was that.
It's in my top 10.
It was that impacting. I mean, you've played 9 games. It was that impacting a game.
Finally, the 10th game of my top 10.
Oh, so now I've played 9 games. Okay.
Yeah, next year you'll maybe play 8. Yeah. But hold on.
Of all of us, Nico has played the second most games in this group.
Oh,
I believe.
Second.
So on Steam at least, but you know, if you count Game Pass, I think Trav has you beat.
Trav has me beat on yeah. I mean,
yeah.
What did I put for mine?
I
played 136 games
on Steam.
Yeah.
Damn. Does that count demos?
I posted it in the Concord chat, leaking the DMs.
You did
Hop on Concord.
post in the Concord chat. Yeah.
You know what's going to save us all? High Guard.
Justin played more than me.
Horse game.
I played,
what if Apex had
I played
horse?
136 games, and I got, guys, not to brag, I got 653 achievements this year.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Dude, what was your favorite one?
My favorite achievement was probably beating Big Bob and Mega Bonk.
That's a new one too. That's a hot off the press achievement.
I really was a big fan of also I don't remember.
I'm still on the high of Chris
and
I don't think
you're on the high of what?
Dude, I'm still on the high of Chris and I both mentioning High Guard saving gaming at the same time.
Remember High Guard?
Sincerely think about.
I try not to.
Do people sincerely think about achievements in gaming like all the time?
Bro, you should look at my retro achievements page. I've been popping off the last few weeks.
I just okay, that's valid.
I got achievements in Zelda 1, bro. I'm like on top of the world.
I feel like
there's a whole genre of video that instead of talking about Bloodborne boss rankings, they just go through and say, I got the platinum in this game. Here's what happened.
Yeah, I've seen those, but I was like, oh, this must be a YouTuber thing. I was like, people just platinuming like just to do it. But like I know you guys do it, but you guys are, you know,
I mean,
YouTubers.
it's really like if I like the game. I think that the last game that I actually sat down and platinumed, that was a new game. Like the game just came out, and I just decided, like, you know what, this feels realistic. I'll platinum it. Was Sonic Frontiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
I platinumed one game, and it was by accident, and it was Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, you walked into the room that unlocked all of the.
I walked into the room that gave you all the trophies. Yeah,
it's a good room. I like that room.
Did you buy the official trophy pin of that game that you needed to have the trophy to?
Yeah, I did. I also bought. I also bought the official Ben Studio collection on Switch too.
Okay, so I can't tell if the first part was a shitpost because there is actually a pin for Ghost of Tsushima.
No, that was a joke.
Because I would have believed that because you would have been like, yeah, it's like drumming or some shit.
I was just a little baffled because the juxtaposition of like, do people actually care about achievements? And then the straight face, yeah, I bought the platinum pin for Ghost of Tsushima. I was like, wait, there's a disconnect here. I can't find it, but I know there's one somewhere here.
Perhaps one day I'll define what like drumming means and what like golf means.
we're good.
But for now, that'll be nebulous.
Maybe it'll happen on our achievements episode.
Perhaps.
Ooh, I like the achievements episode because it would just be like Chris and Brody, and then Nico's just sitting there.
That's pretty much how I always imagined it when we get around to it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Nico
That'd be
just every
fun.
10 minutes being like, but why do you care? And us being like, oh.
I think, yeah, that's going to be a good episode. That's going to be a funny one. You have audience has something to look forward to for that.
Do they?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Do they?
I don't.
yeah.
I know we don't have an outro, but yeah, I think Nintendo is doomed. PlayStation is doomed.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think Nintendo's doomed.
Yeah, Nintendo's doomed. PlayStation's doomed. Xbox is going to soar to new heights, and Valve is going to enter the matrix both literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Along with us.
Yeah,
That's right.
So that's our unofficial prediction for 2026. At some point, we have to go through and do our reaction to our 2025 predictions, see what
Yeah.
came true, and do 2026. So look forward to that whenever that does drop, sometime around the early part of the new year. We've got a bunch of really fun stuff in store in the coming months because unlike Nintendo and Sony, we're not going anywhere.
Yet.
We're still making great content for you. We have one of the most chaotic, fun things that we've ever done coming in February. That was a lot of fun. Excited for that. What else do we have in store, Chris?
I don't know. That's it. I mean, who cares? Nintendo announces 2 games a year. We can do that too.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
And,
care anymore.
I'm
And
happy to
perhaps-
announce our first game as Crub publishers or Crublishers, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Our first game will be Nico Goes Hiking.
It's going to be an all Nico
God.
dating sim.
God. Okay, now that'd be funny. That'd be good content.
We're going to use Unreal 5, and it's going to be all AI generated.
And you get like it'd be like a funhouse mirror where there's like a giant scaled up one. There's like one that's like Un Piccolo this big.
Trav,
like,
can you draw like a really jacked Nico and then a really skinny Nico for like the concept art for this?
and
thought
then
you'd never
also,
ask.
but you
Just
have
ask
to
Brock.
also go. You have to do everything. You have to do wide. You have to do tall
have
and
to do
skinny. You have to
wide.
do like way shorter. You have to do hairy,
What are we talking
unhairy,
about?
Can you do a really sickly one?
sickly, healthy. Basically, Trav, whatever we said at our wedding that you referenced earlier.
Our wedding.
Yeah, you referenced it
In
earlier.
sickly and in healthy.
Yeah, and sickly and unhealthy.
I think we have no further thoughts for today. So
No
thank you for
further
tuning
thoughts.
in for whatever this was. As always, tune in next week. It will only get worse.